There are moments in life when you feel like you've tried everything. You've done all you know how to do. You've worked hard, you've stayed patient, you've kept showing up, but deep down you're still wondering, when will things change? Let me encourage you today, your breakthrough may be just one dua away. Not a long dua, not a perfect dua, just a sincere one. One whispered prayer, one moment where you turn your heart fully toward Allah and say, "Why Allah? I trust you." You see, many people think dua has to sound impressive. They think they need the right words, the right time, the right place. But Allah is not moved by eloquence, He is moved by sincerity. Some of the most powerful du'as are spoken through tears, spoken in silence, spoken when no one else is listening. There are people listening to me right now who feel stuck. You've been waiting for answers, waiting for relief, waiting for doors to open. You don't see a way, but Allah already has a way. What you can't change with effort, Allah can change in a moment. One dua can shift what years of struggle could not. One dua can open doors you thought were permanently closed. One dua can bring peace where there has been anxiety, hope where there has been disappointment, strength where you felt weak. The beautiful thing about Allah is this: He hears you even when your voice is shaking. He understands your heart even when you don't have the words. And He responds in ways greater than you expect. Sometimes Allah doesn't change the situation right away. Sometimes He changes you first. He gives you peace before the problem is solved. He gives you strength before the door opens. He gives you patience before the breakthrough arrives. Don't underestimate the power of that simple dua you've been holding back. Don't think it's too late. Don't think you've asked too many times. Allah never gets tired of hearing from you. Right now, in this very moment, heaven is attentive to your prayer. Angels are recording your words. And Allah, the most merciful, is already arranging things in your favor. So don't give up. Don't stop praying. Don't lose hope. That one dua you make today could be the turning point of your life. Many people hesitate to make dua because they think it has to be perfect. They believe they need the right words, the right language, the right tone, and the right timing for Allah to listen. This misunderstanding causes countless hearts to stay silent when they should be speaking. The truth is, dua was never meant to be a performance. It was meant to be a personal connection. Allah is not impressed by how polished your words sound. He is moved by how honest your heart is. When you come to Him exactly as you are, broken, tired, hopeful, or confused, that sincerity carries more weight than the most eloquent speech ever could. Some of the most powerful duas are not spoken confidently or loudly. They are whispered in moments of weakness, sometimes through tears, sometimes in silence. A trembling voice calling out to Allah from the depths of pain is more beloved than a perfectly structured prayer made without feeling. Sincerity means you are real with Allah. You are not pretending to be strong when you are not. You are not hiding your fears or your doubts. You are saying, "Lie Allah, this is where I am and I need you." That honesty opens doors that formality never can. People often delay making dua because they feel unworthy. They think they have made too many mistakes, asked for forgiveness too many times, or failed to live up to their own expectations. But sincerity does not require perfection. In fact, it thrives in imperfection. Allah already knows your flaws, your struggles, and your past, yet He still invites you to call upon Him. When you turn to Allah with a sincere heart, you are acknowledging your dependence on Him, and that humility is deeply powerful. There are moments when all you can say is a single sentence or even a single word. Sometimes all that comes out is, "Why, Allah, help me?" That simple call, made with complete trust, can shake the heavens. Sincerity is not about saying everything right. It is about meaning what you say. Even when your dua is messy, unorganized, and full of emotion, Allah understands it perfectly. He understands the pain behind the words and the hope behind the tears. Sincere dua does not worry about how it sounds because it is focused on who it is directed to. When you truly believe that Allah is listening, You stop trying to impress and start trying to connect. You stop holding back and start opening up. That is when dua becomes powerful, not because of the language used, but because of the trust placed in Allah's mercy, wisdom, and ability to change what seems impossible. Many people believe that the power of dua lies in how beautifully it is spoken, how carefully the words are chosen, or how fluent the language sounds. This belief can create distance between the servant and Allah, making people feel that unless they can express themselves perfectly, their prayers will fall short. But Allah does not measure dua by vocabulary or grammar. He looks directly at the heart. He listens to what you feel before you even speak. The sincerity, intention, and emotion behind the dua matter far more than how polished the words appear on the surface. There are times when a person's heart is heavy with emotions that words cannot fully capture. Pain, hope, fear, and longing all exist together, tangled and overwhelming. In those moments, it may be difficult to form complete sentences or articulate exactly what is needed. Yet Allah understands every unspoken thought. He knows the meaning behind every pause, every sigh, and every tear. When the heart turns toward Him with trust and reliance, that connection itself becomes the dua, even if the words feel incomplete or broken. Some people compare their dua to others and feel discouraged. They hear eloquent prayers and think their own simple words are not enough. But comparison has no place in dua. Allah does not favor one heart over another because of how expressive it sounds. A quiet, humble prayer made in private can be more powerful than a beautifully spoken dua made without presence of heart. What touches Allah is not the sound of the voice, but the truth within it. Even silence can be a form of dua when the heart is connected to Allah. There are moments when all a person can do is sit quietly, feeling overwhelmed, unable to speak. In those moments, Allah is still listening. The heart's reliance, its turning toward Him, is fully known. Allah is closer than we realize, aware of needs before they are spoken and aware of struggles before they are acknowledged. This is why dua is never wasted, even when it feels weak or imperfect. When a person understands that Allah responds to the heart and not the words, dua becomes easier and more natural. There is no fear of saying the wrong thing or not saying enough. There is freedom to speak honestly, to ask openly, and to cry if needed. This understanding removes barriers and replaces them with closeness. The heart feels safe turning to Allah, knowing it is heard, understood, and valued exactly as it is. There are moments in life when years of effort, planning, and patience seem to produce no visible change. You may have tried every solution within your reach, exhausted every option you could think of, and still find yourself standing in the same place. It is in these moments that dua reveals its true power. What human effort cannot shift over long periods of time, Allah can transform in an instant. One sincere dua can reach places that years of struggle never could, because it connects you directly to the one who controls every outcome. People often underestimate small moments because they measure impact by time and effort. They think that if something has taken years to build or years to break, it must also take years to fix. But Allah is not limited by timelines. He does not require gradual progress unless He wills it. A single dua made with full trust and reliance can cause sudden change in circumstances that seem permanently fixed. Doors that were closed for years can open without warning, and obstacles that felt immovable can disappear in ways no one could have predicted. Many stories in life reflect this reality. A person may struggle for years with fear, uncertainty, or hardship, and then experience a shift after one moment of turning sincerely to Allah. It is not that the dua itself is magical, but that it activates reliance on divine power rather than human limitation. When you place your trust in Allah through dua, you are acknowledging that the outcome does not depend solely on your strength, intelligence, or resources. You are inviting Allah's intervention into your situation, and that invitation changes everything. Sometimes the change brought by one dua is not immediately visible. The situation may look the same on the surface, but something has already shifted beneath it. Allah may begin rearranging people, timing, and opportunities in ways that are unseen. What feels like delay is often preparation. The dua has been answered in motion, even if the final result has not yet appeared. This is why persistence in dua is so important, because trust grows when you believe that Allah is working even when you cannot see it. One sincere dua can also change a person from within. Years of carrying emotional weight can be lifted by a single moment of connection with Allah. Peace can replace anxiety, clarity can replace confusion, and hope can replace despair. When the heart changes, the way a person faces life changes as well, and that internal shift often becomes the beginning of external transformation. Many people believe that dua only counts when it is spoken out loud, clearly expressed, and fully formed. Because of this belief, they sometimes feel distant from Allah during moments when they cannot find the words to speak. But Allah's ability to hear is not limited to sound. He hears what the tongue cannot express and understands what the heart carries in silence. Even when the lips do not move, Allah is fully aware of the prayer taking place within the heart. There are times when pain becomes so heavy that words feel inadequate or impossible. In moments of deep sorrow, exhaustion, or confusion, a person may sit quietly, overwhelmed by emotion, unable to speak. These moments are not empty. Silence in the presence of Allah can be filled with meaning. The heart's turning toward Him, even without speech, is itself a form of dua. Allah knows the reason behind the silence, the struggle behind the stillness, and the need behind every unspoken thought. Tears are often a language of their own. When someone cries without saying a word, Allah understands exactly what those tears represent. Each tear carries a story, a pain, a hope, or a plea that does not need translation. Allah is closer than any human listener and more attentive than any ear. He does not need explanation or clarification. He knows the depth of what you are feeling before you are able to describe it yourself. Silent prayers often come from the most sincere places in the heart. When there is no concern about wording or structure, the heart communicates directly. There is no performance, no hesitation, only pure reliance. In those quiet moments, a person is often at their most honest. There is no hiding behind strength or confidence, only openness and vulnerability. That state of humility is deeply beloved to Allah. Understanding that Allah hears silent prayers brings comfort and reassurance. It removes the pressure to always have something to say and replaces it with trust. You realize that even in your weakest moments, you are not disconnected. Allah is present, listening, and responding in His perfect way. When words fail, the heart still speaks, and Allah hears it completely. Many people become discouraged when their dua is not answered immediately. They assume that if relief does not come quickly, their prayer has been ignored or rejected. This misunderstanding can weaken faith and create unnecessary doubt. In reality, delay does not mean denial. Allah's wisdom operates beyond human timing, and what feels slow to us is often perfectly aligned with a greater plan that we cannot yet see. Every dua is heard, and every sincere call is acknowledged, even when the answer unfolds gradually. Allah knows not only what you are asking for, but also when it is best for it to arrive. Sometimes receiving something too early could harm you, limit you, or prevent you from growing into the person you need to become. In these moments, delay is a form of mercy. Allah may be protecting you from consequences you do not understand or preparing circumstances so that when the answer comes, it brings peace rather than regret. What feels like waiting is often shaping and refining you. There are also times when Allah delays an answer to draw a person closer to Him. Continuous dua strengthens reliance, patience, and trust. When you keep turning back to Allah, your relationship with Him deepens. You begin to recognize that the greatest gift is not always the outcome, but the connection built through sincere prayer. The waiting period becomes a space for growth, reflection, and spiritual strength. Delay can also mean that the answer is arriving in a different form. Allah may replace what you asked for with something better, even if it does not look that way at first. He may remove a hardship, grant inner peace, or open a door you did not know existed. Because humans see only a small part of the picture. They often judge answers too quickly. Allah's response is always complete, always intentional, and always rooted in mercy. When a person understands that delay does not equal denial, patience becomes easier. Trust replaces frustration, and hope remains alive. You stop watching the clock and start believing in Allah's timing. Every moment of waiting becomes an act of faith, knowing that what is meant for you will arrive at the right time, in the right way, and with the right impact.